playing a ranked Legends of Runeterra game. Still swimming around the depths of despair in Gold 3, not really making any progress. Today is a new patch, so there have been some changes to some of the cards, and so we're playing a different deck today as well. Instead of our Freljord Ionia, we're actually now playing Freljord and Piltover, which is this one here. So we're going to be playing a deck that's got more spells than units, because we're actually going to be running the Heimerdinger. So I'll explain the Heimerdinger as we go along. We've seen him a bit before in past videos. Just quickly look who we're against. Zed, Karma, Lucian and Lux. Okay. Keep one of these. Keep one of these and that one as well. So we're running very few units. We're running 2 Anivias, 2 Heimerdingers, and then a couple of these units here. And then I think there's one more as well. A couple more, but not many more. And the idea is we're going to be playing, trying to draw a Heimerdinger as quickly as possible with this, but not just yet. Heimerdinger is the 5-cost unit, and once we've got him down, we want to be playing lots of spells to summon turrets, and they will become our units instead. If that completely doesn't happen because we don't get Heimerdinger, we have the ability to use our spells to stall out until we have the Anivia, and then we can try and win the game through the Anivia later on. So we'll play this card. This has an effect. Every time it strikes the Nexus, it creates in hand an exact copy of a random spell from the enemy's deck. So if we were to attack now and they don't have a blocker, we would do 3 damage and we'll get the spell effect. But they do have a blocker. So we will attack and see if they decide to block it. They do. That's fine. There's another one. I think there's only 2 of these currently in the deck. I say currently because we're going to be using this card a lot. This card has a support effect. When you attack, it buffs the card to the right, or the support effect is on the right hand unit. And this one shuffles 4 copies of that ally into the deck. So that will be quite a lot of fun. The aim is to chuck a load of these into the deck so that we can get more Nexus strikes and more spells. So we'll open the attack like that, because it only has to commit the attack to get this available. Okay. So there you are, the effect occurred. You saw the little animation, and you can tell by the fact we have 36 cards now in our deck as opposed to 32 here. Okay, so he's going to give it barrier so that it deals the damage to kill ours. Oh, he wants to do this. That's how he wants to play. Okay, so we are going to do something first, because we can proc this barrier so that even that then he dies to this one and this unit stays alive. So we will cast this card, discard a card and deal 3 damage. We'll select this card because when discarded it summons a card anyway, so that's fine, and we can deal damage here, which pops the barrier first. So he will then die here. So we're happy with that. So there's the unit that got drawn. Not overly exciting, but it's another unit. So they'll fight. He survives, but he is still blocked. So we can either play another one, or we can look to play it and hopefully draw a Heimerdinger. We're going to do this because we're going to be at 5 mana next turn. We got the Anivia. This is why we're running as few champions as possible. If I was able to, I would run 3 Heimerdingers and no other champions, so we'd only ever draw a Heimerdinger. But I only have 2, and that feels like pinning all your hopes a little bit too much on one thing. So we've got a bit wider. Lucian with quick attack. Okay. So we're going to play the Chempunk Pickpocket again. We haven't got anything that can withstand the quick attack before dealing damage back. So we'll just sacrifice the 1 cost unit just to stop ourselves taking 3 damage. Actually, I won't. I'll just take the 3 damage. Change my mind. I'd rather have more units down, because I think we're going to be looking to play slower than they are, so just having the 3 units down. Right, this spell creates a random spell and it refills our spell mana. So we basically convert these 3 mana here into spell mana, which I'm going to do and see what spell we get. We created a 6 cost spell that summons an illegal contraption, a 5/5 card. So that'd be good because we don't have many units. Okay, so we're going to attack with all of these. Because assuming they don't have any spells, he's not going to want to lose his Lucian to one of these 2. He's going to put it onto this one so it survives and kills this. In which case we deal damage, but these get their Nexus strikes. If he has spells, that changes somewhat. But we could always play these, which boost our allies' health, which we may well still do. Because this is possibly a barrier again. If he's willing to block it here, that indicates this spell is like a barrier or something. Oh, recall. I kind of want to play this to keep this alive, but if I play it on here, it gets sent back here anyway, and it doesn't have the buff. So I might just make this a 1/4 that can just scrap a little bit. So that this one survives, and this one could just be used as a blocker for multiple things. Let this one be recalled back. So he's obviously got more spells in his hand because it's not immediately ended the turn. But does he have anything he wants to use? No was the answer. So presumably he's going to play another ally here because this doesn't help him otherwise. Because Dawn Speakers has an effect at the end of the round, +1/+1 if an ally died. But they're only for other cards, so he needs to play another ally for it to actually be worth it. So we'll play another one of these. End the round. So he doesn't actually get the buff here. It's end of round, yeah, end of round. Excuse me. Elusives. We could play the Anivia, but I think I want to try and draw a champion and take my chances on getting a Heimerdinger. Hopefully it's a Heimerdinger. Yes! It's a Heimerdinger, we could play him. So now we want to be playing high cost spells to try and draw the high power turrets that are stronger down here. Because the more of those we play, the less turrets we need to play to level him up. Because once we've summoned 12+ power of turrets, so power, remember, is the damage here, we then level up the Heimerdinger. And then our turrets get a little bit more durability and a little bit more damage. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to cast this spell, discard this, and deal 3 damage to this elusive unit. It's not going to kill him because we can't block him. But the 3 cost spell means we will summon a 3 cost turret, which is elusive. Which means on our next turn we can use it as a potential blocker for this elusive. That's the plan. So there we are. We summon the turret. Goes into our hand. It's fleeting, so we have to play it this turn, but it doesn't cost any mana. Otherwise it would disappear. And so that's 3 power, so that's 3 out of 12. This card gets a buff if we've played a 6+ cost spell So when I'm summoned, grant me +4 attack and quick attack. If you've cast one any time in this game, not just on this attack. So we will cast this 6+ spell that will summon the illegal contraption. They used a deny. So deny has been changed slightly. It now costs 4 mana instead of 3. So a few less people are running it. But he still was, so he used it. Frustrating. But that's okay, because we can attack. Keep the Heimerdinger back. And attack with all of these. If he wants to block with the elusive here, he can, but he will lose it. So he will get the effect of Dawn Speakers, but there are no other allies, so I don't mind that. And we might get a couple of extra spells here as well. He's giving them barrier. Yeah, he wants to take these cards out. I thought that triggered it because it was a 6 mana cost, but it might not have done, which might have put us in a bit of an issue. Oh no, it got denied, didn't it? So that's why that didn't work. We could play this and hope they don't have a deny and deal 3 damage to one of these, 2 to another one. But we won't have enough mana to play either of these cards. We'll play Anivia here.
The spirit of winter awakens.
Because we might need her as a blocker. Right, this suggests that they've got a barrier coming, because this card gets a buff when another ally has a barrier. So we'll place this here and this here, but I'm expecting a barrier to come out here. Lo and behold. But there wasn't much we could do about it. Couldn't just really risk taking all that damage with only 11 health left anyway. Oh, and they're about to hit Enlightened. It's going to be a close game. Anivia level up.
Eternal winter.
My wisdom is not.
Okay, so let's play this card now then. Deal 3 damage. Let's deal, I changed my mind. 3 damage, 2 damage, 1 damage. Have they got a deny? Because if they do, they're going to want to play it. Ugh.
Kindly keep your hands off my work.
Annoying. Because we haven't managed to get any of the Heimerdinger's turret set.
But the Martian soldier is worth tenfold.
How much does that cost? 6 mana. So he hasn't got enough to play it this turn. So I'm going to play this Thermogenic Beam, which is a 6 cost spell now, because it uses all the rest of our mana to deal that exact amount. So I could deal it here to get rid of the Dawn Speakers, and I might need to. Getting rid of this is important, getting rid of the 6 pat damage here. This 6 damage is elusive, but if I kill this unit, I'm going to attack with the Anivia, which will kill these 2 as well. So they'll, all the ones that are left will get +1, which would be these two.
Champions don't determine themselves.
Or these two, so it would only be this that gets a buff. So I'm going to use it to kill this instead. And that will hopefully give us a turret. Yes! Which we will play next. This is 6 power with Overwhelm. We know he can't play his one card he's got, so we're going to attack.
Snow, wind, and ice.
And we don't quite have lethal damage, but we can threaten quite a lot of damage. That's fine, because this Glacial Storm will kill both the units first, so the Overwhelm will still attack. So we'll still get quite a lot of damage here. Which is why they're doing this. But this is fine for me, because it means they now don't get any buffs from the Dawn Speakers. So worrying about that was not as big of a deal as it could have been. Which is what I think they've just realised.
Stay back. Progress waits for no one.
This is a bit silly because here, at least they stop 3 damage. Here, they don't stop any because of the Overwhelm. So they should have left it as it was. But at least his unit gets buffed now. Karma. And she's enlightened, so Karma doubles every spell that you play. If that makes sense. So at the end of the round, normally she creates a spell, but when you're enlightened, she levels up, and now each spell casts twice. Just like that. Right, we only need to survive. They've got no cards left, so we can block with Anivia, that's fine.
I protect this place.
We'll block with one of these as well, and then we survive. And that's the important thing, and I want to keep these units alive. So we will do that, because they haven't got any cards, so there's no spell effects coming in. So I think we should win this.
Is our time.
So we can play Progress Day, which will be an 8-cost spell. So we'll get the 8-cost turret, which will be definitely enough to put that down there, and should give us enough damage to be lethal. And then every spell, a card that we draw is also 1 cost less. So that's quite nice. But we play this. And now Heimerdinger will level up as well. Unfortunately, it doesn't work on the turret that we just played, but it'll be on the next one. So he's got a 4th unit as well. So we attack with this, with Overwhelm, and all of these. So we get the 2 damage from the Anivia that will kill most of their units. Oh no, it won't. It will kill this unit. But all of them should be low enough that this 2 damage plus the Overwhelm here has enough damage regardless of what they block. So this should be the win. And indeed it was. So that is the new deck that I'm using at the moment, and roughly how we aim to play. That was quite a good example.